Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you as always for your tweets. Ali's here, Stevie, Nedum as well. Frank is back from his Chelsea adventure. Frank, we were discussing yesterday whether or not you would get paid for that.
No, not at all. I was invited, so I didn't pay the Eurostar, didn't pay the hotel, if you want to know everything, but I had to pay for my food, and I wasn't paid at all. So, but I was with my lovely wife, so it was a very nice time in London.
Beautiful, very nice. How was the Eurostar?
Long, and too many people making too many noises when I want to have a nap, but otherwise it was fine.
You took your wife, it's your own fault.
Well, I need my nap, in the afternoon. So, and after I'm fully aware that my wife is alongside me. So, but that's just for my nap.
Imagine how grumpy Frank can be, no nap.
Grumpy Frank.
Oh, yeah.
But that's when he should read his own book,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
self-help book.
What, to put him to sleep?
Yes, correct. Yep, there you go.
Stevie, should Ronaldo be benched? Not effective against Atleti today, or is it Rashford's fault for not connecting with him?
Oh, wow, this is a tester, because it's actually getting to that time. Because I'm not so sure I can remember when I looked at Ronaldo and thought, this is the guy that's won everything available in his whole career.
Yep.
He's beginning to look like just another player now. So I think it's getting close to that time, to be honest. Does Ranić have the stomach?
I think he does, doesn't he? Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I would certainly make a change. I would put Rashford up through the middle.
Nedum, what do you do with Ronaldo?
I think he's one of those players where his value on the field, even when he's not playing well, will be greater than his value, say, because I can't picture him being an impact substitute, because I think he'll just think, well, what's the point of me being here? If there's somewhere else where I can start, I'll just go somewhere else. So I think for now, you just keep him on and hope that he finds form, and hope overall, really, though, that the team finds a way to be more creative, because at the minute, that's probably why he's not looking as good as, say, he has done in times gone by, because I'd say if he was in a better side or a side that was in greater form, he probably would have scored more goals. So I can't necessarily say it's all down to him.
Frank, you had your hand up. Sorry, Stevie.
How many customers pies is that?
Well, the thing is, I will agree with Nedum. I think you have to play him, because on the bench he will be completely useless. You don't put Ronaldo on the bench and you don't put him in after an hour, because I don't think he's going to be useful. You know what? I agree with Stevie. I think there is a time where you have to think about, what do I do in my life and in my career, and this may be the time for Ronaldo at the end of the career to wonder and have a discussion with himself, or maybe some of his siblings, to know what he has to do for the rest of his career, if there is a future in his career. But I feel that I don't want to have pity for Ronaldo, because he's been so much on the top for so many years, that I don't want him, being a normal player. He's been an exceptional player. I prefer him to give up his career at the top, instead of maybe trying to play 2-3 more years and not being the player that he used to be.
I think now he wants you to talk.
You want to say something now?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Ali, does not having away goals matter? Result in a less interesting game? Away teams seem to just sit back and hope for a draw.
Of course it matters. And it was a point of conversation every time that we were talking about Champions League and away goal, and how you approach the game and what you do and what you're willing to risk, not only as an away team, but what you're willing to risk as a home team, because it made those initial games kind of conservative from the home team in that they didn't want to give an away goal. So it changed the dynamics of the game. I like it this way.
Right.
I like it where a goal is a goal is a goal. And the value of a goal doesn't change whether you're here, there, or anywhere. I think it's a straight-up competition rather than speculating with a result.
Steve?
I don't. I like the away goals. I think, again, like most things, when something gets changed, it benefits the bigger and better teams. You know, you've got Glasgow Rangers, a great example. Now, Borussia Dortmund are a far superior team than Glasgow Rangers. Far superior team. But Glasgow Rangers go away to Dortmund and win 4-2. Now, a performance like that, as good as that is, because there's no away goals, it's probably still not going to be enough. I think you're rewarding the better sides because they can again make a mistake, bad mistake.
Does that make any sense, Stevie? As an example.
How, of course it does.
Why?
Well, do you think Borussia Dortmund?
The only way the away goal would
second.
matter
Well,
if they
well,
go.
if you shut up and I'll
the
tell
only way
you.
it matter if Dortmund went there and won 4-2.
Rangers just went to Dortmund and won 4-2.
Yeah,
right?
no, exactly.
Well,
But it just seems such a strange example to use.
Tell me when you're finished and I can talk.
Come on.
My problem is Rangers now, right? Under normal circumstances, in my opinion, only would have to score one goal at Ibrox to pretty much ensure they'd go through. Because that means they have to score how many? They'd have to score like 4 goals, Dortmund, to get through. Right?
Yeah.
No,
Right.
three.
No, if Rangers score,
Right.
they've got 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would have to score 4.
Okay.
Because if it's
Carry
if it
the
doubles up, then they've got to score more goals. They've got
Right.
to score 5.
Right.
So you're rewarding the better team.
Oh, but if you can't hold on to a 4-2 lead at home, you don't deserve to go
Shut
through.
up. Well, what a stupid cliche.
What?
What a shame, if you can't hold on, you don't deserve to win it. It's got nothing to do with football on the field, you pudding heap.
But it has nothing to do with football on the
It's
field.
rewarding the better sides because
Right.
the better sides can 9 times out of 10 will win the game.
Right. Isn't that what you
And
want the
Borussia-
better sides going through?
Well, I tell you, oh Jesus Christ! Seriously, I'm just telling you, everything that's done today benefits the bigger teams and the better teams.
Right.
The substitution rule. Guess who that benefits?
Yeah, okay.
You make 5 changes. Every single thing. All the TV money. Guess who gets more? The big teams. Every single thing goes to the big teams.
Right.
So you don't like
That rule.
You don't like the Super
That
League.
rule goes against the teams who could produce a performance,
Right.
but ultimately not get the real chance to go through because the other team are so good that even though they've scored 4 away, they're still going to. They only need to beat 2-0,
Right.
and it's extra time. They're going to lose.
Nedum, your thoughts on this?
I feel like I like the new rule, but I'll have to see what these second legs are like because in some ways
Right.
I like the fact that, say, as an away team, you can go somewhere and you're trying to get the win because you don't have that advantage anymore if it's, say, like 2-2 or something. Like the 2-1 matters so much more because I think historically, because I like the old away goals rule, but say if you're winning 2-1 away from home, you're thinking, you know, this is going to be a great result. Whereas in the past, the 2-2, you could probably take that as well. So I think overall it means that the tie is always still going. So going into that second leg, you're not going to be worried about this permutation or these 4 permutations that mean that you're out. It's just a case of can you win? Can you score more goals than the opposition? Yes or no? And I think in some ways making it simpler makes it probably easier for people to understand. But like I say, I'll probably reserve my full judgment until after this round of fixtures is over.
Nedum, you call me a pudding head.
At the time, that was the nicest thing I could think of saying. There were other things going through my mind.
Nedum, have you ever played for a team that beat all the bigger sides but struggled against smaller teams?
Yeah, I did actually. So in 2012, that year when City won the league, and I was at QPR for the second half of the season, we lost every away game. But then in the last 5 weeks of the season at home, we beat Arsenal, we beat Spurs, we beat Liverpool, and maybe beat a couple of other big teams. And that was the run that basically kept us up. But like I say, we'd go away to anyone, any team. If you could field 11 players, I could almost guarantee that we'd lose. So I think that was the time when that was the case, and it was certainly memorable to say the least.
Frank, even though he's 37, should PSG regret letting Thiago Silva go? Even at his age, he's still a world-class defender.
Yeah, I think they regret because what he's doing for Paris Saint-Germain is absolutely fantastic. I talked about him yesterday, and I explained why, he's been such an influential player at Chelsea, where for Paris Saint-Germain, I remember the remontada that Paris Saint-Germain played against Barcelona, that he felt guilty for the situation when he dropped too much, didn't show his leader position. And I was agreeing with the journalist. I think at Paris Saint-Germain, it was very hard to show the best of Thiago Silva and the fact that he was a real skipper. Because he plays with younger players, because he has his background and because of his age, naturally, when he signed for Chelsea, the younger players listened to him and gave him the position straight away of a leader. And he's a fantastic player. And he's a real leader, he's a natural leader, but he doesn't like to impose himself. So when it's natural, he's okay, and it's the case with Chelsea, and it's why he's so good. And when he has to force it, like at Paris Saint-Germain, it's not that obvious, and it becomes something not clear in a way.
And this is also highlighted by the fact that in bringing Sergio Ramos, you were supposed to solve this issue. PSG.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. So that hasn't quite worked out. And so therefore, if you're a PSG fan and you see Thiago Silva playing for Chelsea, you go, wait a second.
Yeah.
The guy that was supposed to play for him is sitting in the stands and hasn't played for us.
Nedum, why and how does players like Mitrovic flop time after time in the Premier League but break records in the Championship? 32 goals he's already got this season, which is a record.
So 32 goals at this stage of the season is bonkers, and I've played against Mitrovic and I've played against him in the Championship when he was at Fulham. And the key difference is Fulham in the Championship are a very, very good side. They control games, they create a ton of chances, and he's a good finisher, so he takes a lot. He's their focal point, all that stuff. But then you go to the Premier League, and you're not really the favourite against anybody. Your style of play doesn't really set you apart from anybody because everybody up there can play, but they've also got the tactical side of things. They defend you better. And in the Premier League, as you come up, you tend to score fewer goals. So I think that is essentially the difference. It's just the makeup of the league itself. And the Premier League is as tough as it is. So as you come up, it doesn't matter whether you score 30, 40 goals down there. As soon as you come up, your chances are going to be fewer and far between. And your team itself doesn't have the same status that it has in the Championship. So as a consequence, there's a real realization for some as you go up, this is maybe not for me. And that's why some teams and some fans, not all of them, they prefer seeing their teams winning the Championship than just barely survive in the Premier League. And I think maybe Fulham perhaps could be one of those sides.
Next question. I know one of you have been. I'm not sure about the others. I don't think you would have been. Have you ever been fined by your club? If so, why? Nedum?
Yes, have I. So there were some bad times at QPR where they were they got the balance wrong in terms of trying to take money back from the players whilst also trying to keep them motivated. So we almost got to a point in the season where, if they create a fine where if somebody was running through on goal and you're winning 1-0 and you took them down, you'd have to pay the fine, even though it might win you the game. So that within that same season, I remember, here's a cliche, here's something that always gets said. Whenever you lose a game badly, the coaches will come in and say, you guys didn't even lay a glove on the opposition. Why did you even bother? So we were losing a game. It was 4-0 away from home. So one of my teammates this is when I was captain, putting a big foul on someone. I was frustrated or whatever. But then one of their players came over and pushed him. So I ran over and shoulder barged the guy to get him off my player. And I got shown a red card for it. The manager at the time, Ian Holloway, said, I'm glad that you stuck up for your teammate. But then when I went into training on the Monday, I had a 2 weeks wage fine for sticking up for him for taking the red card. So in that moment, that's when I knew maybe there is no right answer to this situation whereby so do I let someone get bullied away from home or do I try and stick up for him? But the fact is they made me pay the money and that's what it is at the end of the day.
How much was 2 weeks' wages, Nedum?
It's about £90, so probably about $120, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, the exchange rate.
So it was a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money,
most definitely. Some would say overpaid. Frank?
No, I'm sorry. I've been a very nice person all my career long, and I've never been fined by my club because I was late or something like that. No, nothing. Nothing interesting to say about that.
That's all right. I'm guessing you haven't.
Nope.
No.
Clean living.
I never got fined by a club, but I once got...
Well, no, you were in charge of the Revs and you got fined on more than one occasion.
Yeah, but that's not by the club. That's by MLS.
Right.
But as a player, when I was at Notts County, I once got dropped for being late for a meeting.
Right.
But the problem was, nobody told me there was a meeting.
Oh.
Oh, maybe they said something and you weren't
maybe
paying
they said-
attention.
Well, this is before email, so it can't have been
There was
technical.
no cell phones, well, I didn't have a cell phone or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I was playing at Notts County. We trained in the morning, and we had a game that night in the Carabao Cup.
Right.
Which, whatever it was called back then. So after we finished training, we were all to be ready for the bus at 2 o'clock. So I nipped into Nottingham to do something.
Oh, do some
And I got
shopping.
back, plenty of time,
Yeah.
and somebody at the door was waiting for me to tell me that they were having a meeting.
Oh.
So the guy in charge was Colin Murphy. I went to the meeting, and he went absolutely ballistic. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I can't believe for a meeting that I didn't know we were having.
Right.
But of course, he was going
So how did
ballistic.
everyone else know there was a meeting and you didn't?
Because they had stayed at the ground.
Right. You got because you went shopping.
I went and did an errand.
Oh,
So I had no
a
idea.
mysterious errand.
What was your errand?
So he told me, he said, right, you're not playing tonight.
I'm far more interested
Yeah,
about
what was
your
your errand,
errand,
Stevie?
than I am about anything else.
No idea.
I think you do.
No idea.
How much did you have to pay MLS?
$2,000 was the most I paid.
How enjoyable was that, writing that check?
Not good going home,
No.
telling the person that writes the check. That was a problem.
Final one, Frank. Have you ever scored for and against your team in the same match?
I certainly scored on goals.
Yeah.
But I never did. I never did that. No, I didn't. Never did that. No, not that I recall. No, for sure, never did that.
I'm pretty sure Craig did it at Anfield. I think he told me about that.
I did that.
I think he did. Nedum?
Nah, no chance at all. I barely scored a goal in general, so to catch both like that, not even gonna happen.
This is the back of Sebastian Haller doing it today. Ali?
No.
No.
I did score an own goal once off my backside. It was
Well,
nice. Yeah, well, you know.
ample.
Yes,
Got a lot of
there's
goals.
plenty of room there. Yes. Plenty of room there.
No,
No.
same as the boys. A couple of own goals.
That is it. We're done. Thank you very much, everyone. It has been interesting from this pudding head to another pudding head. Goodbye. We'll be back. So you wouldn't call Kay a pudding head. She's on tomorrow.
No, I'm very polite with.
I assume that's not nice, right?
No, it's not nice at all.
No.
No.
In the realms of not nice, it was very nice.